January. And China, it has to be said, you say, look at what we've done to deliver medical assistance and equipment around the world. What many people see is China running a campaign of disinformation and propaganda around the world in recent weeks. You say we have a great relationship with France. The French just called in your counterpart, the Chinese ambassador in France, accusing him of spreading disinformation because the embassy website in Paris is claiming that old people in care homes in France are being abandoned to suffer and die alone. That's a colleague of yours. Another colleague of yours in the foreign ministry used social media to promote the conspiracy theory that the US military had smuggled coronavirus into China. Why is your country running this disinformation campaign?
I think you pick a wrong target. It's not China who start this campaign of disinformation. If you compare China's statement, comments by Chinese leaders, Chinese diplomats, Chinese ambassadors with American counterpart, you will know who is spreading disinformation. You know,
a foreign ministry spokesman who did put up the link suggesting that the US military had smuggled coronavirus into China. Is that something that you also believe?
I think what you're saying is Mr. Zhao retreat some comment by some media report. You know that I do not know why you focus on some comments by individuals, and China is really regarded, as a evil, not as a country which lending a helping hand for Americans in fight against this virus. I do not quite understand.
In your view, Ambassador, how deep is the crisis with the United States right now that has been sparked by all of the accusations that have arisen from coronavirus? How deep is the diplomatic crisis?
We certainly want to have a good relation with the United States. I've been posted twice in Washington, D.C. I always believe that China, United States will gain from cooperation and lose from confrontation. And we have every reason to have a good relation with the United States, but it has to be based on mutual trust, coordination, non-confrontation. But you need two to tango. We want to build an international response to this virus. I just want to let Americans know that China is not the enemy of the United States.
Well, in that case, Ambassador,
this virus is the enemy of the United States. They need to find the right target.
It's a very important message you're sending. Maybe China could consider some gestures that would improve relations with not just the United States, but many other countries, including Australia and the UK, who've made the same point to your government. One, will you now categorically guarantee to close down the so-called wet markets, that there will no longer be the sale of these live wild animals in the food markets that are known as the wet markets? Is that now something that has been banned, not just short term, but absolutely banned forever in China?
First, come to your first point about many countries. I cannot agree with you that China has a problem with many countries. And I think I would say we have more friends than opponents, even than enemies. President Xi said, solidarity,
Ambassador, we're short of time. I just want specific, if I may, Ambassador, I just need specific answers. On the wet markets, are they now closed for good? Yes or no?
There's no such a thing about wet market. This is a Western foreign notion to many Chinese. We do have a fresh market where the fresh vegetables, fresh seafood, fish are sold, and some live poultry. That's very rarely. I think you are talking about the market, the so-called illegal market for selling wildlife. That has been totally banned. And the law has been passed, and it will be banned permanently. It's illegal.
That is therefore a recognition, yes? I just want to be clear, a recognition on your government's part that the dangers of those markets where live wild animals were sold alongside other foodstuffs, they were dangers that did cause the spread of coronavirus from animals to humans.
I agree with that. finally, we have a few points to agree with. I'm very pleased with that.